The question is never, do I have the money for it? The question is, do you have the guts to see it through? It is a beautiful ripple effect that happens because you took action first. Buenos dias, welcome back to The Beast Den. My name is Sloan the Beast. I am a chaos coach for women, juggling, motherhood, and business. I wanted to share with you how it is that you can benefit from reinventing yourself and your identity post-marriage, post-motherhood, and when you're integrating entrepreneurship in the middle of this and you're trying to figure out, what is my brand? What do I stand for? What are my values? You really start to pick out, okay, wait a minute, how does this overarching theme affect myself? First and foremost, my children, my husband, and our relationships, and all of the in-between pieces. Be sure to subscribe if this is your jam. If you're like, my life is a hot mess express, I need your help. I want to take you back to when I found out I was having my third child, my fourth child. It was a difficult place for me to be in because not only had we just decided to close down our businesses right before COVID, but my mental space wasn't the best. I was really struggling with this idea of me being a mom of four. What would it mean for me? I had decided to finish my college degree. So now what? I would have this degree if I could even finish it. And then what? I can't go back to the workforce. Like that just wasn't an option for me. Once you've tasted entrepreneurship, once you've had that taste of freedom, you don't want to go back to that. And most importantly, how would I go back to that with 4 kids now under my belt that I knew I would be homeschooling eventually? And so I struggled with this identity a lot of what does it mean for me? What value do I bring to the table as a CEO now that I do have to play this more domesticated role, being at home with these toddlers, with these babies, while my husband is really the face of the business and I just kind of work the back end. I really struggled with my identity and I struggled with owning who I was and the power that I held inside of me. I struggled with my weight. I struggled with my mindset. I had a really unhealthy relationship with fitness and food, and I needed to snap back quicker than all of my other pregnancies. I needed to be thinner. I needed to be fitter. I needed to just be better at content creation, better at marketing. I wanted to be so much more because then it would mean that motherhood did not define me. It would mean for me that I still had immense value to bring to the table. It would mean to me that I hadn't completely lost myself in this need to be all the things for other people.
I thought you could make a sandwich.
Oh, okay, let me make these sandwiches. I'll be right back. All right, so fast forward, I decide I'm going to start working with a coach. I discovered that I get to define what motherhood looks like for me. I had to completely reinvent this woman that I was going to evolve into. I could not leave it to chance. And that is the first thing that I want to tell you. You cannot leave the woman that you are becoming up to chance. You need to grab that. You need to harness the version of yourself that you aspire to be with all of your being. The version of yourself that you used to dream of being when you were a little girl. You can get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of every day that you feel chained down to this life. And I want to tell you, it does not have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You can redefine what motherhood looks like for you. You can create freedom within your life right now, but you have to reinvent the woman that you aspire to be in the now, not later, in the now. Well, you're going to stay stuck unless you do the work. What does that mean? That means asking yourself hard questions, not just accepting things as how they are, but really asking, what did I do? What was the role that I played to get this reaction? What are the things that I can actually control? What are the things within myself that I can change or that need to change in order for me to get to that next level? And what does that next level even mean to me? What will this help me achieve? It's questioning every single piece of who you are so that then you can embody the version of yourself that you want to be. Is when you reinvent yourself, your intuition is going to get so much stronger. I have had clients that say, I feel like I make bad choices. I don't feel secure in the relationships that I choose, and the relationships that I'm choosing to nurture, and the people that I'm surrounding myself with. I don't feel secure in the business choices that I'm making. I feel like I make bad decisions time after time after time again. But The more that you listen to your intuition, the stronger it's going to become. It is a muscle. However, you have to reinvent yourself first. So once you decide who it is that you are becoming, and that you really already are, there's a reason why those things come up for you. Once you reinvent who you are, that identity that you are choosing to embody, your intuition is going to get so much stronger each and every time. Okay? You are going to start getting these gut feelings that you're like, oh, is it just me being paranoid? Nah, it's you needing to listen so that you can make better choices, right? That gut is there for a reason. Especially as women, we have this sixth sense that is going to guide us into the best decisions for the path that we have laid out. And especially when you are a first generation minority woman, we are really the ones that are blazing the trail for the other women behind us, for our daughters, for their daughters, and for generations to come. If we're not listening to our intuition, if we're not listening to our gut, we can't expect to pass that on to them. The next thing I want to tell you that can happen for you and will happen for you once you reinvent yourself is what happened to me. And it is opportunities will become more apparent. So Edward and I have lived off of this phrase for the past year, and it is opportunities arrive to me for wealth each and every day. The question is never, do I have the money for it? The question is, do you have the guts to see it through? It's never about the money.
Mommy.
Yeah, babe.
You know what happened to this guy's face?
Wealth arrive to you each and every day. The reason why you haven't seen them, however, that's for a totally different video, so stick around because that is juicy all within itself. But opportunities arrive to you every day. And it's never a question of, do I have the funds to do it? Do I have the network to do it? Do I have the capacity to do it? Do I know enough? It's never about that. If it arrived to you, it's because you already have everything you need. Problem is, you don't have the faith to see it through. You don't have the guts to see it through. And so once we decided that this is who we were going to step into as of today, as of right now, literally days before going on my Bali CEO retreat, we bought our first property. Literally almost 12 months to the month, pretty much, we purchased the Beast Cottage, which is where we are now. And so much of it in retrospect, I'm like, how did this happen? And I'm trying to rationalize it, right? And there's something that a preacher that I love to listen to says, you don't explain spiritual things to fleshly people. There are certain things that in rationale, it's not going to make any sense. It's not something that's supposed to make sense. When you embody this next level version of yourself, when you reinvent yourself, you have the ability to walk in the supernatural. And that requires a level of faith, and that requires a level of, delusion, so that you can manifest the things that you are seeing. But in the physical, it does not make any sense. In rationale, it does not make any sense. It's not supposed to. One of the things that I had decided when I had to reinvent myself and who I was and completely choose to step into Sloan the Beast, everyone already saw me as that. Everyone had already seen me as like this superwoman and this, and I resisted that for such a long time because I was like, I'm not worthy of being that person. I'm not who they say I am. I'm not, that's just not me. They don't know my past, without understanding that my past is exactly what qualified me to walk in my present and execute my future. Man, that was a whole word for somebody. If you didn't catch that, rewind. And so when you choose to reinvent yourself and you're really mapping out like, okay, how do I want to redefine this season to be for me? How do I want to redefine this next level for me to look like, to feel like? I want you to consider the fact that opportunities are going to arrive to you every single day that's going to test that. It's an opportunity for you to step into that woman that you say that you want to be, or revert back to the woman that got you to where you are right now, but is not going to sustain you in this next level. What changed for me next was our profit, like I can't even 10 times, like increased so rapidly in ways that we couldn't have even foreseen. And here's why. Once you become a wife, once you become a mother, everything that you learn either as a lesson or as a success story, you are going to directly or indirectly pass that knowledge on to your children, your husband. The way that you perceive situations, the way that you speak, the way that you think, the way that you act, the way that you move is going to change because now you have received and internalized and are applying new knowledge. And that new knowledge is going to challenge the way that your family does life. And so inadvertently, you are all going to change as a combination, as a force. And so what happened was when I started investing in myself, when I started to really take my growth and my evolution seriously, my husband by turn also started to question certain things, started to speak different. He started seeing the results of speaking life into our situations. He started seeing the results of walking in the embodiment of things that we weren't holding just yet, but knew that we would be sooner rather than later. And what happened from there was now our leadership team is also doing the same thing, and they're seeing their profit increase. They're seeing their opportunities increase. They are learning more and they're challenging the views of their network. It is a beautiful ripple effect that happens because you took action first. You cannot expect the version that got yourself to where you are to support you in what's going to happen next, especially if you're someone that's like, I want to live extraordinary. I want to do the incredible. I want the freedom of finances to do the things that I want, not just cover my needs. I want to be able to start a new business. I want to be able to hire more people. I want to create generational wealth. I want to heal generational trauma. Those things require support. And I really believe that we are in an environment and an economic space where you have to pay to play. And I say this because a lot of you have a ton of freebies all in your inbox. And I used to do the same thing. I would enroll for people's freebies, their little masterclass, and that would be it. There would be no change because the change that you need at a core like atom, proton, and neuron level is going to require your commitment of time, energy, and money. The amount of money that I have put forth in order to evolve not just myself but my family is why we live the life that we live. And so if you are ready to get unstuck, if you really want your family to do the extraordinary, then do the work. Stop investing scared. Like you are keeping yourself stuck by not making the necessary investments that you need into yourself because there's purpose on the line. There's generations on your back that you're holding by not taking the necessary action. The reason why you feel stuck in your motherhood, the reason why you stress so much and you feel so overwhelmed and you feel like, is this it? There has to be more. There's more. But you have to take the first step. And so how you do that, you reinvent your identity by asking yourself the hard questions. Okay, 1, who do I want to be? What does that next level version of myself look like? How does she walk? How does she act? How does she dress? What does value mean to me? What value do I bring to my relationships? What value do I bring to my business, to my community, to my world? It is so much bigger than you. And if the value that you bring is all about you, you got to go deeper. The next thing I want to tell you is when you're inventing yourself, take the action first. It is a faith walk. You don't get to know how these things happen. You don't get to know how you become that version of yourself. You first have to embody the fact that that is who you are meant to be, and everything will fall into place. I have a friend named Danny Mimosa. She actually has a guest seminar on my program all about time management. It's really great, but she has this quote that she said at an event, and it's, if you take the leap, there will always be a net to catch you. And I think that that's so beautiful because if you take the leap, if you take the action first, the money will always appear, the right people will always appear, the right strategies will always appear, but it's a you thing. You're the one that's holding yourself back. And that's the best news. And simultaneously, it's the worst news because it means that you've had the key to your own prison the entire time.